Hi everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Shaman Talk. Please subscribe and follow me on YouTube if you have not yet done so. Today I will be talking about heavenly guides. The reason I wanted to talk about this topic is because I noticed that a lot of times on social media there's a big debate about which type of guides, which type of shamans are better. I feel like there's no need to be in competition with each other. I feel like there's no reason for one type of shaman to bash on another type of shaman. There's really no reason to say that you are better or I am better, because I feel that each type of shaman and every type of spiritual guides, they have their purposes, and what one type does cannot really be replaced by the other type. So I think that our focus needs to shift from which type is better, which type of spiritual guides are better, which type of shamans are better, towards an attitude where we are all here to help remedy, to help heal, to help bring balances to those who are in need, to mankind. So there is no need to try and state that one is better over the other. If we truly understood our path as a shaman, we would not do that. I don't like to do that just because I see the relevance of both and of different types of guides and different types of shamans. As human beings, we have this nature to want to be better than somebody else. We have this, being human, our nature is to want to, put down something that we're not familiar with, put down something that we cannot do, we are not able to do, we are not able to understand. And we only want to validate what we are familiar with. We only want to validate what we are able to do. And so when you are somebody that does that, then it really just shows your lack of, enlightenment. It tells me that you are not there yet. It tells me that you are not at a level where you see the whole picture. You're not at a level where you see the big picture. You are only looking through one lens, and that's okay. It's okay if you do that. But as a human being, and because, our whole purpose is to help heal others, then it also tells a little bit and a lot about who you are as a person. And so it would be nice to be able to see everybody get along. It would be nice to be able to see everybody understand, to have an understanding that as shamans, our purpose, we all share a similar purpose. And if you don't understand this purpose that, we all share, then you need to do some more work in your spiritual journey so that you can see what is this common purpose that we have, and what is this common purpose that everybody is talking about if you don't know what it is. Because it does say a lot about where you are on your spiritual journey if you don't understand. So today I want to make a point that it does not matter what type of guides, spiritual guides you have. It does not matter what kind of a shaman you are. One is not better than another. One type of shaman might be different from another. And what is better, what is not, that's a perspective. But in the end, when you are there to do good, when you are there to heal, to help others, then that is what matters. Therefore, what you do might be different from what another shaman does, but what you are doing, as long as you are wanting to help people and wanting to bring balances to people, wanting to bring balances to others, to mankind, to the earth, to the universe, then you are all good, okay? But if you are a shaman and that is not your purpose, and you don't have the intention to help others, to heal others, to bring balance to others, to the world, to the universe, to the earth, then I would say that, you still have a long ways to go because you don't see the big picture. So, I think that we should not fight or argue about the types of shamans that there are. We should not fight and argue about what shaman, which type is better, because in the end, each of us, we have our own purposes and we each serve a role that has been given to us. And what my role is might be different from yours. What your role is may be different from the next person, the next shaman. So we should really all support each other, because if you understand, the purpose of why we are shamans, then you will understand that our purpose is higher and bigger than ourselves. You do need to journey more into the spiritual realm, into higher and consciousness, so that you can understand what the higher purpose is for everybody. Therefore, we all need to support each other so that as a whole we can be successful at fulfilling the purposes that we have at the individual level and also at the greater level, at the universal level. So, although we can share ideas with each other, in the end, we have our own spiritual journey that we have to walk and we have to travel upon so that we can get to where we need to get to. As a shaman, we know our limitations and we know our weaknesses, we know our strengths, we know where we are. We know if our vibrations are high or if our vibrations are low. We know what we are capable of. And therefore, today, I'm going to talk a little bit more about new shamans or Nang Chia, Nang Shao, just to give more perspective about what Nang Shao is about. Maybe they are on the verge of becoming a shaman. Maybe they have lost their way. And so a lot of Nang Shao, they get a bad name for being, scammers. They get a bad name for and being labeled as that they are not true shamans because they charge too much money, and a lot of stuff like that, which is true. For some of them, it is true. And for those people, then you have the option to not, call upon them for their service because, maybe the way they practice is not what you believe in. They are only able to practice and that way because people continue to use their service. And so if you don't believe in that, then you don't use their service. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about what Nangchia is. I'm going to talk a little bit about what the shamans who have heavenly guides, what they can do. I'm going to talk a little bit about their gifts. And as I talk about the abilities that Nangchia might have, keep in mind that as a new shaman, they can have one, two, some, or all of the abilities I talk about. There are some shamans, they might have one of these abilities, and they might have two, they might have three or four, or they might be able to do all of these. So keep in mind that not everybody will have all these abilities, and most likely there will be shamans who will have maybe two or three of these abilities. And there will be some that are able to do, four, five, six of these things. And there will be some shamans who will be able to do all the things that I talk about. So the first item that I want to talk about is that if you are a new shaman, you might be able to sense the emotions of others. You might be able to have deep sympathy for others because you sense their emotions. And so this makes you an empath. You will be able to relate to other people's situations. And a lot of times, just hearing about their situations, you already can connect to how that person feels. You can connect to their emotions. You already feel their emotions, and their emotions become, um, you know, channels through to you and becomes your emotions. And so it might make you so that you are able to read other people's emotions. You're able to read their thoughts, and you will have deep sympathy for others. And so, because you have the trait of being an empath, you might be somebody that before you become a shaman, you might be someone who's just very emotional. You might be somebody that, feels very deep. And so that's an indication that if you did become a shaman, you might have this trait. The second trait I will talk about is that if you are a Shao, then you will be able to do readings easily, or 个小呀容易. You'll be able to channel with others. And so what that means is that you will actually be able to bounce into the other person's consciousness, and you will be able to see and to read that person on the spiritual side. And so by doing that, you will be able to see what issues they might have. Be able to sense their emotions. You'll be able to see what traumas they might have experienced in the past. You'll be able to see their soul spirit. and sometimes you'll be able to see events that they have experienced. And you do not always have to trance in order to do your readings. You can channel with the energy of the other person. And so this makes you telepathic. Being a telepathic shaman, having the gift of being telepathic, it is because you have higher consciousness, and it is because you vibrate at a higher frequency, and therefore this allows you to sense the energy in your surroundings. It allows you to feel the energy of what may have passed, what is in the present, and sometimes you'll be able to sense what is in the future. And you would be doing all this just by using your gift of being telepathic. So this is not through dreams, this is not through thinking or sensing, having a thought. You would actually be able to channel with the energy of another individual, and you will be able to sense all these. Number 4, a person who has Neeb Saub, who is a new shaman, new type of shaman. You will be able to do different types of readings than what ancestral shaman can do. You might be able to read palms. You'll be able to read faces. And because of your higher consciousness, you can feel the energy within a physical body by holding somebody's hands. And then you'll be able to read their vibrations from holding their hands. And by doing this, you'll be able to sense their past, their present, and again, sometimes their future. But most times, the future is not as readable because most people that you might try to read, they do not resonate well within themselves. That means they are not always very balanced within themselves, and so it's harder for you to make sense of the energy within their physical body. But for those whose vibrations are higher, they can resonate and are more balanced within themselves. So you would actually be able to read their future a little bit better. And so the more chaos or the more chaotic a person is, and their mental wellness is not as together, then it'll be harder for you to read their future. For somebody that is more balanced and more grounded, then you might be able to see their future better. 5, Neeb Saub shamans. For the most part, some of them, they will do spiritual writings, and these are types of writings that they will do automatically with the help of their spiritual guides. These writings are not readable to humans. These types of writings are not actual true writings that is in a language that humans can speak or read. These kinds of writings are writings that are done by the spiritual guides. So they are spiritual writing that will be understandable to those who write it. So as a shaman, if I do spiritual writing, another shaman will usually oftentimes not be able to read what I wrote, as I am not able to read what they wrote, because these are writings that is done by my guides and their writing is done by their guides. So only their guides can read their writing and my guides can read my writing. But there are some guides, there are some spiritual guides that come from higher realms, and they will be able to read and interpret the writings of other shamans other than their own. Okay, so there are some shamans whose spiritual guides will be able to do that. The writings allow you to learn. So sometimes you write to learn. You can write to heal. Sometimes you write to heal, to do readings, to connect to your spiritual guides. You also do writing to increase your vibrations, to connect back to your higher self, and to channel with the universe. So, spiritual automatic writing, it's a very important skill to have. If you do have it, it will allow your guides to teach you, and it will open doors for you that otherwise would not be there if you do not have guides who do that. Number 6 is energy healing. Next show, they will be able to learn to utilize and become good at energy healing. This does not mean that you will be able to do energy healing automatically. It is something that you can learn to do. Your guides can utilize this skill. The energy healing will resonate well with them, and they will be able to play with it and learn to use energy, the energy that is from within, and they will be able to use that to heal. Number 7 is healing through massaging, through massage. There will be some shamans that they will have spiritual guides who will help them to locate blockages in the body of others. They will be able to unblock, to clear those blockages, and to remove stagnation in the body. So there will be some that the shaman might give you massages on your body, and the shaman, they will feel different parts, like if you're having stomach pain or you're having leg pain, whatever, or wherever the pain might be, the shaman might feel it, might massage it, and be able to find places where their spiritual guides will feel a blockage, and then they can massage that area that has the blockage in order to release and to open that blockage so that it removes the stagnation in the body. And through the course of time, that can help to heal the problem that you are having. So number 7 was healing through massage. Number 8, another thing that next show they might be able to do. And as I said, some shamans, they will have all these skills and abilities, and some shamans will have some or 1 or 2 or 3. Okay, so they might not have all these abilities that I'm talking about. Number 8 is there are some shamans who will be able to utilize herbal medicine. They will have spiritual guides who specialize in using herbal medicine to heal the body, the spirit, and the soul. For these shamans who have this gift, they might want to set an altar for their Txuj, which are the herbal spiritual guides. You will develop an affinity and a desire to learn about herbs, about medicinal uses of herbs. You will want to grow plants, learn about their uses. You will get messages from your guides about how to use some of these herbs, which plants to combine, which plants to put together in order to address certain health conditions. And sometimes what happens is you might give what you might give to one person for the same issue might be different than what you give to another individual for the exact same issue. So sometimes you have to look into the individual on the spiritual side, because what transpires on the physical side as the same illness might not look the same on the spiritual side. So this is one of the skills that some people with next show might be able to have. This is also a skill that if you don't have Nang Shao, sometimes you will have Nang Chua too. Number 9 is exorcism. What it Nang Shao, they do specialize in removing dark entities, dark energy. They have guides who will remove demonic possessions and entities. And so there are some Nang Shao who their purpose is they are warriors, they are peacekeepers, their purpose is to instill balances between Ya Tia Yang, so between spiritual and physical realms. So they will have the gift to be able to remove dark entities, and they do not perform exorcism the way that ancestral shamans do. Okay, ancestral shamans they perform rituals and they do complicated rituals that in order to remove dark entities. Next show what they will do is they will use their weapons, they will use their swords. They do not have to perform rituals in the same manner, but they have guides who will just use their weapons and they will perform exorcism on individuals that might have dark entities with them. So this is a gift and a skill that some show shamans might have, and only very few of them have this skill. Not every show will be able to do that. Number 10 are healing methods. Next show, their healing methods will resemble ancestral shamans, but they will use shortcuts sometimes. Some of the things that they do might be more efficient without having to perform long rituals, or they might not have to perform rituals in the same manner. So their healing methods and their methods of doing things might be a little bit different, but they will be able to have the same results. And so that works with more efficiency, which helps to reduce the time involved in doing rituals. Number 11 is Kagong or healing spells. There are some that show that this takes time and it happens over the course of time. They might have some guides who will show them how to teach healing spells, protective spells, and these are spells that cannot be taught to others, as they are only effective because those shamans have the guides who are specialized to perform them. Their presence gives efficacy to the spells. So someone without these specialized guides, they can try to perform the same spells, but it will not be effective and it will not have efficacy. So for those shamans who do have these kokon or healing spells, they will be able to help you in ways that those shamans who are not able to do that, they're not able to help you. So number 12, which is the last item that I will talk about, it is about healing past, present, and the future. So there are some Nangshao that shamans that they can look into your past lives. They can see your karmas of the past. They can see where your spirit has fallen, where it's stuck at, and they will be able to heal those events. So basically, they have spiritual guides that can travel through space and through time, and they can travel into the past to see your past lives where maybe you have built some really bad karma and that is affecting your present day life, and they will be able to help remedy that for you. They are also able to see where your spirit may have fallen in past lives or in your younger life, and maybe your spirit is stuck somewhere. Maybe you moved on, but your spirit did not move on. And so they will be able to travel across space and time and spiritually, and they can heal those events or remedy the events. They can also heal events in the future if it is known or if it's spiritually related. An example is that if you are in a relationship with someone who you are not compatible with, and you know that you're most likely going to end up getting divorced or breaking up with this person because there's just great incompatibility, the shaman can intervene and create balances and compatibilities for you and for this individual to prevent such events from happening if the cause is spiritual. It's harder to heal future events because most of the time we do not know what the future event will be, so we don't even know to look into it or to look to see what possibly can happen. If you are someone that gets a lot of premonition dreams, if you have a spiritual or a shamanic calling, you will usually have this gift that I just talked about. You will have the gift to be able to intervene in future events, but you also have to seek out the solution. You have to seek out how to intervene and how to prevent such events from happening. Sometimes if you have premonition dreams and you start to notice that a lot of your dreams, they indicate something that will happen in the future. And sometimes if those events are usually not good events, and you start to notice that a pattern, if you have these premonition dreams, you also have the ability to prevent it. And a lot of times you don't know how. You don't know how to go about preventing it. But because you have those dreams, if you find a way to prevent it, if you find out that, if you feel that this is a dream that I feel strongly about, that it's a premonition, something bad is going to happen. And, if you're already a shaman, then you should look into it to see what that dream means. If you are not a shaman yet, then you should have somebody help you to look into it to see what it can mean, who it involves, and so that you can help prevent that from happening to those individuals. So today I talk about some of the gifts that Ningxu shamans have. These gifts are useful, they can be enlightening, and they are all meant to be used for healing purposes, for good, and for maintaining balances for humanity. If you misuse your gifts, you will find that your healings will become less effective over time. You will lower your vibrations, and you will destroy your chance towards becoming more spiritual and connecting to your highest self and attaining higher enlightenment. While ancestral shamans may not see the purpose of reaching higher enlightenment, new shamans or Ningxu, they will see a greater need to connect to their higher self, to reach higher enlightenment, and to find a greater purpose than just to reside in a human body, which is just a vessel. You will want to understand and to find a greater purpose for yourself on the spiritual side. This is a step towards understanding the universe and why you are here on Earth. Thank you for watching. I wish everybody wellness in body, mind, and spirit. Until next time.